When you are admitted to a hospital, they place on your wrist a white wristband with your name on it. But there are other different colored wristbands which symbolize other things. The red wristbands are placed on dead people. There was one surgeon who worked on a night shift in a school hospital. He had just finished an operation and was on his way down to the basement. He entered the elevator and there was just one other person there. He casually chatted with the woman while the elevator descended. When the elevator door opened, another woman was about to enter when the doctor slammed the close button and punched the button to the highest floor. Surprised, the woman reprimanded the doctor for being rude and asked why he did not let the other woman in. The doctor said, "That was the woman I just operated on. She died while I was doing the operation. Didn't you see the red wristband she was wearing?" The woman smiled, raised her arm, and said, "Something like this?" A cry woke me up in the middle of the night. It's as if a girl was trying hard to muffle her desperate cries of help so as to keep something from hearing her. My heart started to pound with fear as I was reminded of scenes from horror films involving creepy, crying ghost girls. I badly wanted to wake my roommate who was sleeping across my bed, but it is impossible to wake her up. She is such a heavy sleeper. I didn't dare open my eyes. I've heard some creepy stories about our dorm, but I don't want to experience them firsthand. So like a frightened child, I hastily covered myself with my blanket and turned to face the wall, ignoring the cries. I willed my scared self to get some sleep. I woke up from an uneasy sleep the next day to see my roommate with a strange, frightened expression on her face. "So you heard it too?" I hastily asked. "That creepy crying sounded horrible. I wasn't able to sleep properly last night." With a haunted voice, she replied, "That was me who was crying. When I saw you levitating from your bed." It's been 8 minutes since I sent my message. Seen, but no reply. Something must have happened. Maybe he's hurt? It's not unlikely that he tripped and hit his head. His apartment is a mess. Maybe he's simply ignoring me? No, of course not. He's not like that. I grabbed the keys to my car, which I conveniently placed next to my computer, and head out the door. I sliced through the night air in my '96 Corolla and waited impatiently at traffic lights as I rushed through the suburbia. Maybe he's simply not home. Out with his friends? Saw the message but ignored it? No. Maybe he wants me to want him. Oh, I do want him. I flick my blinker and make the corner into his street. I pull into his driveway and jump out of my car, slamming the door after me in haste. I hurry into the building, a greasy old flat. One would think it had been long since abandoned by the looks of it, but I know better. I go inside and run up the stairs. What if something really happened to him? No, I must not think like that. But what if? I need to hurry. I'm panting by the time I reach the 4th floor, but now is not the time to rest. I hastily make my way to the unlocked door of his apartment and go inside. A laptop sits alone on a desk. I place my keys next to the laptop and sit down. Seen, but no reply. Maybe he's hurt. I grab the keys to my car that I lay next to my laptop and head out the door. You are home alone, and you hear on the news about the profile of a murderer who is on the loose. You look out the sliding glass doors to your backyard and you notice a man standing out in the snow. He fits the profile of the murderer exactly. He's smiling at you. You gulp, picking up the phone to your right and dialing 911. You look back out the glass as you press the phone to your ear and notice he is much closer to you now. You then drop the phone in shock. There are no footprints in the snow. It's his reflection. In rural southern Illinois, a toy company began selling realistic baby dolls to expectant mothers. But apparently after the mother had her child, the toy baby would start crying. Eventually, the rocking motion advertised to calm it down wouldn't work, and you couldn't get it to stop without shaking it. Eventually, when it started crying, the parent would have to beat it, and the beatings and thrashings would have to get harder and harder to get it to be quiet. The only thing that seemed to shut the baby doll up permanently was to bash its head against the wall to destroy whatever mechanism triggered the crying. On more than one occasion, though, neighbors called the authorities to report child abuse. And when the police arrived, they found the bloody remains of infants smeared across the walls and the floor. In most cases, the mother couldn't understand why the police were there. She just got rid of the stupid doll as she rocked a baby-shaped bundle in her arms. Everyone has the same fear at some point in their life. They think it's waiting for them. Some people think it's stupid and not real, but some people aren't unfortunate enough to be a victim to its lingering attack. The thought of it to those who haven't been targeted is senseless. The thought of someone turning off the light and sprinting up the floor in an attempt to escape only from their paranoid thoughts. The thought of something or someone chasing you up the stairs, and the only shield these deluded people have is the shield of light when they get to the extremely bright room. I will always remember that horrible night, thinking I was running only from a thought. The feeling that someone is chasing you up a staircase surrounded by darkness is one thing, but to be hunted, surrounded in total darkness, and be dragged back down into the abyss is another. All I can remember is the room I was plunged into after being dragged down what seemed like never-ending steps. The smell of fresh blood and the sick aroma of decaying flesh filled my lungs. Seeing things were difficult. The room was almost pitch black. After waiting for my eyes to adapt to the darkness, the first and last thing I saw was writing on the wall, which I could only assume was written in blood. Don't you wish you could run faster? No sooner had I examined that crazy statement, the only thing I remember from that night was it sprinting towards me. I will never go up a staircase in the dark again.